Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Florence, the fiance.
And we are back with another episode and another documentary. What are your thoughts on this documentary?
I feel like before we get into my thoughts, I just need to get something out of my, system. If I just do this...
Yeah, do it.
Then okay. My loneliness is
It's killing me, and I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign.
Hit me, baby, one more
Dun,
time.
dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's going to
Cool.
be so hard to chop that all together to make it sound like it's in sync. Because it was definitely not in sync. Yeah, it's fine then. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
What if we get signed after this? Just please.
I would be... No, can I... I
Okay.
would be very, very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And
What would you call our first album?
Two things can be true.
Half of the album will be Ho Jams. The other half will be...
It would just be hotels. It would be hotels.
Literally. Oh, okay, I like that. Two things can be true.
Yeah. Or it'll be called Two Things. And then obviously the fans would know because, oh my God, because two things can be true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Come on.
Or it could be two things because I got the titties, you got the ass.
Ow. Ass and titties. Ass
You got
and
ass and
titties.
Okay, I can't guarantee that I won't burst into song again, but I've been needing to get that out.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And to be honest, guys, if the singing offends you, just skip. It doesn't last long. Just skip. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay. Unless you're Jay-Z and you want to sign us, then listen to the vocals.
No, but then they wouldn't skip. They'd, do you know what I mean? They'd be in it for the long haul. Yeah. So before we get into the documentary, I'm drinking. Obviously, I'm the only one who's really, taking one up for the team. It's the same port wine I was drinking last time because I still haven't got through the bottle. It's so strong. I literally am I've had maybe 2/3.
Where did you get it from?
My friend got it for me as a birthday present.
Oh, yeah, you said this, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so today we are doing Framing Britney Spears. Yeah, we are doing Framing Britney Spears.
Not to be mistaken with Britney Spears. This is Britney Spears. Did you ever watch Glee?
I did watch Glee.
Yeah.
Okay, so the documentary opens up with on-screen text of the definition of a conservator. And I feel like I have only known conservative. I've only known conservatory. I've never before this time come into contact with the word conservator. That was not really part of my vocab, But we learn in this on-screen text that it has two definitions. One that perseveres. No, one that preserves. Yeah, it was weird because I was like, what do you mean? But anyway, one that preserves from injury or violation, semicolon, protector. Number 2, a person, official or institution designated to take over or protect the interests of an incompetent. Not an incompetent person, not an incompetent being, just an incompetent.
Oh, just an incompetent.
It just said an incompetent.
So what if my water bottle is incompetent?
I mean, it probably is by definition of being a water bottle. Then you're the conservator of the water bottle, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So I reckon that they're talking about Britney is the second one, right? In this whole thing. So we find out that Britney Spears, yeah, I think her name is Britney Lynn Spears. Is that her name? After her mama. So Britney,
No. It's not.
What's it after?
It's Jamie Lynn Spears.
Oh, it's Jamie Lynn Spears. That's it. Yeah. I loved her. Shout out Zoe 101.
Well, I mean, I loved her, but...
In Zoe 101?
Yeah, I loved her.
Yeah,
I loved her. I loved the show. But I'm not trying to police women's bodies, but why did she have to go get pregnant and ruin the show? We never got an ending.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually really sad.
I always look at that kid. She always posts that kid and I'm like, you ruined one of my favourite shows.
Ooh, I know you see me standing here. How did that come out? That literally came from some random space in my mind. How did that come to my head?
No, but that show used to make me want to be in boarding school.
Same.
So
Pacific
bad.
High. Yeah, same.
Literally, so bad.
Yeah, same. Oh, yeah. So Britney has been in a conservatorship for over 12 years now. And this documentary, basically the point of this documentary is to explore whether she should still be in one. And the crime of the documentary is that she is in one still.
Yeah,
basically.
and not just in one, no. Not just in one, but the person who is
Her father.
conservating
Her dad... Her dad is her conservator, so she's the
father.
conservatee. This means that he is in charge of her money, so her finances, her estate, of which there is a lot, and also in charge of her person, so in terms of like being able to make medical decisions and things like that.
And I just feel like no one man should have all that
power.
Kanye said it, and I hate to agree with Kanye,
he said it when he was in his
right
right mind, and he meant it. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it's also kind of more fucked up because Britney and her lawyers have requested that someone else be in charge, but her dad has refused to step down. So it's not even like she's saying I don't want to be in it anymore. I mean, she is later on, but like it's not like she's saying I don't want to be in it. It's like saying, cool, I can understand the need for this conservatorship, so let someone else be in charge, just not my dad. Like,
and I'm surprised that the courts just wouldn't give that to her.
It's strange.
It's very
so
weird.
Strange. And that, not a lawyer, but obviously it just seems a bit strange, right?
Yeah, it seems very dodgy.
Very dodgy. So the narrator kind of person says that in order for us to kind of understand the depth of this whole situation, we need to understand how Britney Spears became Britney Spears, right? Yes. And I liked this. Like, do you know, the thing I enjoyed about the documentary was just seeing the story of Britney Spears, and also like being able to recognize where in my memory I started to, things started to make sense. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where I started to remember things of my own volition. Like,
and how I process things as well.
And how I processed it. Exactly.
Because Britney Spears was like I'm sure everyone
she was the
knows
Beyonce,
this,
I would say.
but she was the Beyonce of the time. She was the it girl. Who didn't want... I had all her albums. I knew all her... My dad used to hate her. Because you know when that Baby One More Time video came out, she was in her little school skirt with the tie. And then I used to tie my top. And
the pigtails.
My dad used to hate it. I don't know if I told you guys the story where my dad banned MTV. That was because of Cisco Thong Song.
Oh, my parents did that. I remember we used to like sneak when they were out to watch it, and then we would hear the key in the door and we'd have to switch it to like Disney Channel.
Not only did he ban it, he literally removed it from the Sky package. He was like, "This is leading my daughter astray."
But little did you know you were bound for astray anyway.
It was the ship had sailed. But yeah, Britney was definitely the it girl of like I had all her albums.
She was the Beyonce. And do you know why I say she was the Beyonce? Because you know how Beyonce has so much autonomy over like directing and like, you know, her creative process. She's not just an artist that they kind of stick outfits on and give her a mic and say sing this. Britney was that before that. Like Britney was that person that was like, okay, cool, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And she was so young at the time. So it's like she was an artiste. Like she was really about her craft. She wasn't just a puppet.
Yes, she wasn't. Everything she did was like for a reason, carefully thought about, intentional. She was, like you said, an artiste before they existed. Yeah,
she was that bitch before streaming and before social media. So the first person we meet, well, I don't know if it's the first person because anyway, whatever. The lower thirds here are shit, by the way. They introduced the person, they put the lower third, and then we never see it again. So there are many people who I do not remember their name because I was not trying to. And now TV's user interface is so weird, like. It's just not a pleasurable experience.
This is why I deleted. This is why I deleted it.
I wasn't trying to go back, but yeah. So the first person, I got the name, Felicia Culotta. She is her lowest,
I just said, oh God.
Oh yeah, her lower third is Britney's friend and former assistant, which sounds kind of weird because she like is quite visibly older than Britney, but like she's probably old enough to be her mum, or maybe her mum. So she was in fact her chaperone, not her mum, not her big sister. They kind of settled on her as like an assistant. And she says that she never really understood the concept of Britney being under a conservatorship because Britney was still so young, and typically these sorts of things are used for like older people, elderly people, maybe people with dementia who are unable to like make these decisions for themselves. They no longer have the mental capacity to make decisions about their person, about their estate kind of thing. So it's not to say that conservatorships are evil in themselves. It's just kind of like the application of one to Britney at this time is kind of like, why? Like, why are we doing this? So Felicia tells us about how she's known Britney since Britney was 5 years old. And as with many talented singers, they start off in the church because the talent comes from the Lord God Almighty. And she's in the church choir. And we see this like video of her in 1992. So she's 10, right?
Yeah.
And she's singing. And she just looks really, really cute. She has a little dress on, a little bow in her head. And like her face is exactly the same. Like her face
it's the same. It's just small.
It's just smaller.
Yeah. I find it smaller. I find it weird though when people have that. Like you have that actually as well. Like your face is exactly the same as when you were a kid.
I don't think it was, I glowed.
But I think it's okay because you're still quite like small in stature. So it's not like, oh my gosh.
I'm looking at a picture of myself now.
Thing to me. You look.
Yeah, but you have the same face.
That's what my mum. That picture of me on WhatsApp, the one that you rudely used as a meme to me. Okay,
we'll put the meme on Instagram.
Okay, we'll put the meme on Instagram so you guys can see. You can caption it. But yeah, my mum was like, "Oh my gosh, your face looks the same." Even my fiance said the same thing, and I was like, "I think my face looks so different."
No, it looks the same. When I was a kid. I mean, really? I'm sure everyone kind of looks the same because they look the same. But like, what I mean by Britney is that like her face now is what her face was then. It's just shrunk. Yeah.
It just looks CGI'd. It looks like they CGI'd her current face onto,
Exactly. Rather than her face then grew to become what it is now. It kind of looks like it's just they took her face, they shrunk it, and they put it on that video of the little girl. But yeah, let's get into the fuck shit because there's this scene from this talent show, right? And the host is this old man. Like he must be
60s at least.
I would give him a young 75. Like,
yeah, but he's white.
Okay, in his 60s. And he asked... and you see that video of that woman that was like, she's 35?
She's 35. I was like...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Let this be a cautionary tale for those who don't use SPF because
I'm so sorry. She is no less than 48 years old. No less than 48.
No less. Not a day less.
But she's claiming 35.
No, I think she is 35, but she looks 48. She says she tans and she smokes.
But how much tanning and smoking? Come on.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Okay, well.
If she's from Florida, it will make a lot of sense.
Florida. The old man asked 10-year-old Britney Spears, after she's just done an amazing performance for a 10-year-old, does she have a boyfriend?
I noticed last week you had the most adorable, pretty eyes. You have a boyfriend?
No, sir.
Why not?
They're mean.
Boyfriends? You mean all boys are mean? I'm not mean. How about me?
Well, it depends.
And he's like, I'm not mean. What about me? And I'm also like, you're also not a boy. You're a grown-ass man.
So what do you wanted to say? Like, like you could be my boyfriend.
Thank you. It was just so unnecessary.
It was really creepy because he started off with, I noticed last week he had the most adorable eyes.
Yes.
It reminds me of the paedophile from Family Guy that's always trying to get... trying to come into my van.
You know I don't watch Family Guy.
Lollipops for you. Oh, we'll post him.
Yeah. No.
You didn't watch Family Guy?
No.
I'll send you clips of the paedophile guy.
Okay,
really
thanks.
Funny. Well, I mean, not like it's not funny, but yeah.
It's just he was so creepy. It was so creepy. And then like the talking head is like, of course, because what else could a young woman or a girl have to offer besides if she has a boyfriend? Like, it's so stupid. But
even before that, it was just inappropriate for a kid.
It was very inappropriate. I feel like that whole exchange is very inappropriate and unnecessary because it's not like Amadeus had nothing to talk about. You could have asked her about the song that she was singing. Why did she choose that song? Was she nervous? How did she combat her there's so many things you could have asked her, but have you got a boyfriend and you have nice eyes? Can I be your boyfriend? Like, I'm sorry, get out of here. So next we meet Hayley Hill, and her lower third is former Teen People fashion director and Britney's former stylist, and she's commenting on the video.
Can I just say... Sorry, before we go into Hayley, can I also just say I found Felicia really, like, annoying. She couldn't have been my chaperone. I would have, like,
I think she's quite enthusiastic. But think about it, they're from this small town in Louisiana. Louisiana, yeah. And they're just, just happy-go-lucky.
They are very country.
Yeah, they are. I didn't even realise that Britney was from them ends.
Yeah, do you know who... I listened to a podcast about Justin Timberlake and, like, people are making fun of him because he is so country and then he puts on this, like, California accent, but he's really country. If you listen to old videos of him when he was on NSYNC, he was really, really country.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Britney is very country. Yeah. Like cornbread and grits in the morning country.
Yeah, cheese grits. They even... What's in the documentary? They showed cheese grits.
Do you know how stodgy cheese grits are?
I said, okay. So yeah, Hailey Hill, she's Britney's former stylist. She's commenting on the video, the creepy one that we just spoke about. And she's like,
of all things that she could be asked about, because what else could we possibly talk to a woman or a girl about?
She's like, there's so much more to Britney and that's all you wanted to settle on. It's just weird. It's just, again, more like men just being weird. So Britney is clearly talented. The family decide that Britney and her mum Lynn would go to New York for a while just so she can train and she can audition to try and get some roles and stuff, while her dad Jamie stayed in Louisiana where they're from, because obviously Jamie Lynn Spears is a lot younger, so she's a child and she still has to go to school, so someone's got to, be there.
Yeah.
So it was tough on them financially, but they make it work. And then Britney gets an audition for the Mickey Mouse Club, and this is where my memory of Britney starts.
Oh, I never watched the Mickey Mouse Club.
I don't know that I watched the Mickey Mouse Club, but I remember her being from the Mickey Mouse Club. I remember, as in mind, when I think of how Britney started, I think, oh, she was on the Mickey Mouse Club with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, and Christina Aguilera.
And Christina Aguilera, exactly, yeah, the three of them. Yeah. So we see a clip of young Britney saying...
Oh, sorry, do you know who else was on it?
Who?
Ryan Gosling. And there's this clip of him singing this, like, Boys to Men song.
Wait...
I will find it and post it. There's so many postable things from this episode. I will find it and post it. He's singing like this Boyz II Men song, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? I know.
Whenever they were talking about the Mickey Mouse Club, in my head, like, I just imagine, that video, it's like, go,
yeah.
Who's next? I was like, this is literally what I imagined.
Literally, this is the vibe. That's the vibe of Mickey Mouse Club.
Definitely the vibe. Oh, that port. Oh my God, that wine is so strong.
Oh my God.
Oh,
what video was that again?
Huh? I think it was a vine.
Yeah, what vine was that? Was that Rennie?
That guy?
I think it was Rennie.
I don't remember. I don't remember the guy's name. So, yeah. We see a young clip of Britney saying that, like, when the Mickey Mouse Club ended, so she was on the Mickey Mouse Club, then it ended, and then her life was pretty normal for like 2 years. She went to high school, she played basketball, she was just a normal girl, not yet a woman. And I'm then
not a girl, not yet a woman.
Yeah. All I need is time, a moment that is mine. Oh no, do you know what? I'm
too many bangers.
Best of Britney. I need to blast Britney.
Too many bangers.
I need to. In 1997, she makes a demo tape. She gets a record deal. So Britney's mum gets Felicia to travel with her because obviously she's got to stay home with Jamie Lynn. And so now we get into some facts about Jamie. I feel like it's important to talk about Jamie, not just because obviously he is the conservator. And so it's important to kind of think about and talk about the dynamic between him and his child, aka Britney, right? So apparently he wasn't really around a lot. He has some issues with alcohol. He goes to rehab. He has a few, businesses here and there that don't really work out. And eventually he files for bankruptcy. And this is not to say that, like, these things can't happen in your life. I declare bankruptcy!
That's why I was laughing. Guys, I'm sorry, you just need to watch The Office.
I saw your face when I said bankruptcy, and I was like, this is coming.
I just remember Oscar being like, that doesn't do anything. You can't just say it.
Do you know what? I love Oscar's character, but like, Oscar's character is only relevant because of the stupidity of everybody else.
No, I don't like him because he likes to act like he's so above the bullshit.
Yeah, he does, but he's necessary because Oscar is us.
Yeah.
Oscar is us looking at them. But we're not there, so then we look down at Oscar like, fam, why are you here?
Yeah,
but he's literally the reactions that we have. If we were there, we'd be Oscar.
Yeah, we're a blend of Oscar and Stanley.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Did I stutter? So, yeah, nigga's bankrupt. Jamie ain't got no money. And like I say, I don't think that this defines you or makes you a bad person if these things happen to you. But I think that this is becoming relevant because of what we now know about the conservatorship and the fact that he is the conservator.
How do they let somebody who cannot even conserve it their own money
conserve it
somebody else's? Like, make it make sense.
And so, bloop, there it is. Like, honestly, you can't even conserve it to yourself. You want to conserve it to somebody else.
You yourself, your money is up and down, you don't know where, and then you're a hacker.
Higgy hag.
What in the...
Yeah, it's very cheeky. It's very, very cheeky. Very, very cheeky. So there's this woman, she has frizzy hair and a red top. I don't remember her name. I think she was the executive. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No. I don't. They all became one face. It was just a sea of white people.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, so she basically was saying how Lynn, so Jamie's mum, was mad supportive of Britney. And she says,
Lynn supported Britney. I want to say Lynn because I never talked to her father. The only thing Jamie ever said to me was, my daughter's going to be so rich, she's going to buy me a boat.
and the thing is that, like, I understand your parents, like, wanting their kids to be successful. But I really hate the entitlement that comes with certain parents sometimes. Like, she's not a cash cow. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if it had been her mum saying these things, that would have maybe made a bit more sense. Because it's like, she's been about, do you know what I mean? Clearly she's
done the work.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, you having a kid is not like a return on investment. Do you know what I mean? It's like, from what we're hearing, you, Jamie, have not really been around. Yeah. Obviously, that's your dad, and, you know, if not for his sperm, you wouldn't be you. And obviously, he's provided a roof over your head and food and stuff. But then also, that's your job as a parent. Like, you don't. Oh God. I'm not reimbursing you for the fact that you took care of me as a child when I couldn't take care of myself. Like, that's your job as my parent. If you didn't want to do that, then you shouldn't have had me, or you shouldn't have kept me. You should have given me up for adoption to someone who wanted to, you know, be there for me could have.
Yeah, no, agreed. When I saw that bit again, I feel like this is all the build up to just letting us know because this documentary is very much for Britney making her own decisions, autonomy, whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like that statement was a build up. It was like another layer onto the cake of like, hold on, this guy's a bit like. And also, can I just say, I know that my English lit teacher is going to be very excited by this, but when you really analyze it, this guy has been bankrupt. And then his biggest issue is his daughter buying him a boat. Does this seem like somebody who is financially responsible to then conserve another person's
to be responsible for someone else's finances?
Literally. And guys, I know you don't come to this podcast for English. Don't use conserve it in like proper surroundings. I don't think it's a word. I made that shit up.
It's not? Really? It's not? So it's 1998 and we see Britney performing Baby One More Time in a mall. It's so funny because I always called it Hit Me Baby One More Time. I didn't know it was just called Baby One More Time. Yeah. But maybe the hit me was a bit like, ooh, you know, violent.
Domestic
or
violence.
Sexual. Yeah. Or both. So, yeah.
Why did she say that though? Huh? Actually, now that I think about it, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Why did she?
No, it's hit me like,
Oh, like sex?
Yeah, I think it's sex.
Not the sex.
My loneliness is killing me.
Oh,
I must confess, I still believe.
Like,
when I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Hit me. Or maybe call me. Hit me up.
Oh, like hit me up, yeah.
But I don't know if that's really her lingo. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Either way, it was a wonderful track and I am grateful for it.
Yeah.
She's performing it in a mall, prepping for her album release. And it's crazy to me because there's like 10 people there. Like, there's not that many people there. And it's like, wow, I wonder if the people who were there remember seeing her before she blew. Because she was performing that same song before it blew. So it's like, imagine being there. I was there, you know. So single blows up. This is pre-social media. This is pre-streaming platforms. The lady hair. Wow. The lady with the frizzy hair with the red top reminds us that during this time, it was all about boy bands. It was like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. Like, it was all about boy bands. It wasn't time for a young woman or a young girl to be on top of the charts. And then Felicia tells us that when she's becoming famous, like she's getting more money, and she takes out $10,000 in $100 bills and she gives it to people in her neighborhood when she goes back home. So they're kind of just trying to show the rise of her. She was still humble. She was still a lovely person, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we get into this bit about Britney's sexuality, and not in terms of her being like gay or straight, but just in terms of her embracing herself, being a woman, feeling sexy, dressing how she wanted to. People are saying she's a contradiction because it's like she's this whole innocent, you know, person, but then also she's dressing seductively.
Sexily, yeah. And this was before women could have ownership of their bodies, basically.
Right.
Just to let you know.
Right. And so this is very stupid. And it's like we always say on this podcast, like, two things can be true. Like, you don't, like, men never have to grapple between being like this sexy or this virginal type, or like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
or even being like sexy and smart. Like, you'll never look at a guy that's really sexy and be like, oh, he must be a bimbo or he must be dumb. But women cannot be like sexy and have ownership of their sexuality, but still be like modest in like
yeah. And it's like, I can be singing about whatever and I can dress how like It like, and also when they say these things, I'm like, you people didn't know that 2020 was coming, because like if you see the things people wear and don't wear now, like Britney was just doing crop top and low rise jeans,
literally, and people
it was
were
a
like,
problem.
oh, she a hoe.
They were losing
Show.
their minds. Crazy.
Some people wear see-through. Did you see the outfit?
Not the outfit.
Not the outfit. The outfit. Gucci Mane's wife or
What, Keisha Cure? What, when?
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah, you know, she always dresses like the true Jamaican
she's
shoes.
yardie in it, so.
No, but this one was like, it was like this. It was the same Rihanna dress. That
What
crystal, Swarovski crystal dress.
Oh, yeah.
But it was long sleeve, and it was fitted. I don't know if she was wearing knickers, but she wasn't wearing a bra. And then you could just see like her
just nips.
And she like, yeah, that it wasn't
would
an
lose
award
their
show, it was just a
minds.
casual day out.
In middle America.
Literally.
What, just going shopping, just going to the mall?
She went to like a strip club, but yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Makes sense, man.
And dinner first. Imagine you're just a waiter, next thing there's like nipples all in your face.
Nipples. Trying to get that tit. Yeah, so the stylist also makes a point to say that she was styling Britney, but she also worked with a lot of boy bands back then, and no one ever mentioned or criticised their sexuality or them doing sexy and tops off and stuff like that. So, you know, double standard, it's been there, still there, what are we going to do? All this criticism made Britney be like, okay, well, fuck it, I'm not trying to please anyone. Like, as we mentioned before, she's very involved in all of her performances, and there's this one little bit where I think she's trying to like instruct people. She's doing a rehearsal. She's instructing people to do stuff. And someone in the background must have said, oh, you're a diva. And she stands up. She's like, I'm not a diva. I just want it done right. Yeah. And it's like,
and I loved that.
I loved it. It's like she has so much. I think they're trying to show, like Ferenz mentioned, they're trying to show how much autonomy she had over herself, her craft, her art, everything that she was doing and had her hands in. And now all of a sudden, what is gone? We get into sort of like the demise and stuff. But yeah.
It's kind of heartbreaking though to watch.
It really is.
And I say this because when you look at these old videos of her and she seems like so
with it
put together, she knows exactly what she's doing, she's on point, she's on beat, It's really, really sad when you go on her Instagram. Like, I find her Instagram now very disturbing.
Really?
Like, it's really, really, really disturbing. Like, there's obviously something amiss there. It's not like...
It's not the same.
It's not even that it's not the same. You can tell something isn't right. Like, and I don't know, obviously we never find out what exactly is wrong with her, but there are obviously some issues there, and it's just sad to see because obviously either way you chop and change it, she could have been predisposed to like mental health issues, but whatever happened to her in this journey that we go into in this documentary, it hasn't helped.
Yeah, and this is what I think. I think, like you said, there could be some predisposition, but I do also think that like you can be predisposed to asthma, but if I'm in a house with asbestos, like perhaps that's going to exacerbate the...
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good enough analogy, but you get what I mean? Like,
yeah, 100%.
I think, yeah. So we'll get into that. Before that, though, we have to get into this guy, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we've ever discussed our feelings on Justin Timberlake. Like, I can appreciate his music at times and stuff, but also him as a person, I just feel like he epitomizes white man privilege, like no accountability, misogyny, go about, do what you want to do and never have to really face the music for it and doing up stupid iPhone notes, apologies and shit years after your crimes that you've committed, but whatever. So at this point, obviously they're both in the Mickey Mouse Club, they're the it couple, and then they break up. I remember I was really, really sad when they broke up.
I literally,
I was devastated.
Up until like a good 6 years ago, I used to have hopes that they would get back together.
She deserves better.
If obviously knowing that now, but his propaganda was so good because I lapped up everything he put out there. Yeah, I lapped it all up. So I always used to wish that I hope he could just forgive her. And because think about it, you grew up seeing Justin and Britney. Then there was I don't know if you saw Nick Lachey and what's her name again? It's Jessica Simpson.
Oh, yeah.
They were another couple. Then there was another couple as well. Oh, Usher and Chili.
Oh, yeah.
I used to pray those three couples would get back together. I was like, no, they have to. I don't even love Usher and Chili were they were like the Justin and Britney of the black community music scene.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, but like we know, I mean, I feel like we're all old enough to remember this at the time. Like, they break up and Justin kind of makes it seem like Britney's done him wrong or Britney's cheated. Like, he controls the narrative instantly, right? And it's like, one of the talking heads talks about how they make Britney out to be like the school slut, and Justin like weaponizes his whole Cry Me a River music video to incriminate Britney. Like, he has a Britney lookalike, and it's like, oh, all of, you know, like, how could you do that? Told me you love me, why did you leave me all alone? And it's like, even now when I sing the song, I'm just like, oh, this song is such a banger, but like, I can't fuck with it the same way now that I know what, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's really annoying. And we see this also annoys me. Like, I was just so frustrated. Like, I literally texted Ferenz. I was like, I'm so mad. And she was just like, look, save it for the pod. So we see a clip of Britney at a press conference, and someone asks her if she's a virgin, which, first of all,
oh my God,
is your mum a virgin? Like, what's your concern? Like, what's your concern here? Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that you would never ask a guy this. Why is her sexuality?
What's that got to do with anything?
Literally,
it's like, okay, now you know she's a virgin or not. So now what do you do with that?
But they ask her this because eventually they're going to weaponize it against her. It's going to be like, oh, you're a virgin, but why are you behaving like a slut?
Exactly. And if she said, no, she's not, don't you think you're too young to... Do you know what I mean? And so she says, yes, she's a virgin, she's waiting till marriage. And then after the breakup, we hear Justin doing this like radio interview.
Justin Timberlake is in the house. And I just want to ask you one question. Did you Britney Spears? Yes or no? Oh, man. Come on, man. Okay, I did it. No. Yeah!
And it's like, oh, Justin, did you sleep with Britney? And he's like, oh, man.
It was fuck.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. He was like, oh, did you fuck Britney? And he was like, oh, man, I did it. And they're all like laughing, like dickheads.
And it was on a magazine cover as well.
I literally was just getting into it because the title of the magazine cover says, can we ever forgive Justin Timberlake for all that sissy music? Even if we stop there, the homophobia is rife, first of all. And then we get, hey, at least he got into Britney's pants. There you go, misogyny. How you do all of that in just one time? I literally was like...
You
one fell swoop.
Everything.
I'm so happy that I was young at that time because I didn't deep all of this stuff. I was just living my best life. So you could
still like enjoy it, and it just seemed like it was teen drama. Like, you know that teen drama you see on like Saved by the Bell,
Nickelodeon,
Clueless and stuff like that. So it all played into it. So you didn't really deep that these are really people. Like people, and not only real people, they were kind of grown because they were older than us. So as you're watching it, you just think, oh my gosh, this is teen drama. Oh my gosh, Britney and Justin, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But you don't understand the gravity.
Exactly.
And Justin is, I know he doesn't listen to this podcast, but if you do know him, send it to him. Because one thing he needs to know is, you're a fucking bitch. Yeah. Who goes and talks about whatever they've done with their ex on like whatever a media platform?
Just shows a lack of respect because it's like, you didn't have to react the way you did. You could have just been like, nah, I'm not speaking on that.
Yeah.
You don't respect it. And then if we get into his further crimes, with Janet Jackson, I'm so sorry. Like, ever since that whole Janet Jackson thing, I was like, me and Justin, like, this ain't...
We don't.
I can't.
But I don't understand the premise of that. Did he know that her top was going to
apparently he knew there was going to be like a costume reveal, but he didn't know the extent. Like, he didn't mean to expose her breast or whatever. Whether that's true or not true, the point remains that you just let her take all the heat. Like, her music was getting, I think one of the albums she was about to release flopped, but all flops, either flopped or wasn't released because people were dropping her. No one was playing her no one was playing her on the radio and stuff. And then he was going around living his best life, putting out music and doing all of that stuff. And it's like, how do you excel from a situation that both of you were in? She didn't expose herself. She didn't walk on stage and pull her top off.
You ripped it off.
And she suffered.
And he was called to the Super Bowl the
and
next
you
year.
just... Exactly. And it's like, this is what we mean by like, you being silent on an issue is not activism. It's not better than you saying something bad. It's just the same. It's just the same. Like, the bullied and the bystander. Like, the bystander is just as bad.
Yeah, it's true.
Ugh, I could write a dissertation on Justin
And do you know
Timberlake.
what the funny thing is? Like, Britney never once came out and said what led to the breakup.
Fam.
But Justin was doing chatty patty up and down.
It's like you said, he needs to stop being a damn bitch.
You need to stop it. That Nene Leakes speech was relates to.
It was well informed. He said
it wasn't
stop
just
being
for Peter.
A damn bitch. Yeah. I'm so happy that Justin bit's over, man. It made me so angry.
Yeah, that infuriated me.
Made me so angry.
How'd you say infuriated?
Infuriated.
No, good. You're just as confused. Cool.
Girl. It's 2004. It's the K-Fed era. That's what I'm going to say on that.
It's the baggy sweatpants. No, it's the juicy couture.
Juicy couture.
And then the grandpa hat to the side.
Yeah.
The baggy jeans.
And then Mariah Carey sunglasses. You know the ones, the rimless ones with the brown tint. Yeah.
Juicy couture.
Juicy couture. So paparazzi. I think paparazzi should be in jail.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think so.
I think it should be banned.
Yeah, but I'm glad that social media means that it kind of is like not as important anymore.
Yeah, and I like the fact that now celebrities can put in like, is it injunctions or whatever, to prevent you like showing their kids' faces and stuff, because paparazzi back in the day, was lawless.
Fam, they didn't care.
It was the Wild West.
But I'm thinking the money must have been really good, because how you just sell your soul like that?
Yeah, it was.
One of the paparazzi people, he's like one of the talking heads here for some reason. At this point, I'm like, this is really random. Like, who is this guy? But it becomes more apparent later on. So
yeah, he's a big player.
Yeah. So he says, you know, at first, like, Britney was really friendly at the beginning. Like, he thinks maybe she even enjoyed the paparazzi. And then she had a kid, and it was just, like, too much, right?
Well, obviously.
And then, you know, they do what they always do to women. And it's like, oh, if you don't have a kid, then it's like, oh, where's your kid? And if you do have a kid, then it's like, oh, you're an unfit mother, you're a bad mother. And she's also at this point in a custody battle with Kevin Federline.
K-Fed, yeah.
K-Fed. Around this time, she's also chilling with Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan. Do you remember Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan? Like, they were like the it girls.
They were like the besties.
The socialites. They literally were like...
They had some argument and then...
Are they not friends anymore?
No. And remember the era of Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton?
Yeah, Nicole Richie, yes.
Yeah.
They were like, listen, they would be like the Kylie Jenner. They were like the Kylie Jenner of... And like Jordan, well, R.I.P. friendship, but you know, the man.
Yeah.
So she's chilling with them, just doing hot girl shit. But also the paparazzis are also like following her around. And so like the whole unraveling of her, you know, being... her life is being televised around this time. And I put here that I'm really happy that social media's come about, because literally, like, it kind of gives celebrities the room, the power back in order to, like, document their lives as they see fit. Like, okay, cool, you've got a picture of them going into Nobu, but they've already snapped that they're in Nobu, so, like, what have you shown me? And, like, they've told me at that point they didn't need to get the pictures developed or bought or whatever. Like, I see it real time. So yeah, I feel like now paparazzis are more just for like fashion shots, like just to see what this person was wearing or whatever, as opposed to like,
or to catch someone slipping.
Yeah, but even then, like, not as much. Like, no, who's going to OK Magazine first thing to find anything? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I just think, you know, when you see these, like, there were so many clips of her just trying to get in the car or just trying to go wherever, and then she's just being swarmed with paparazzi. And I just think, like, yes, she's a celebrity, but she's also a normal person. And it's just, imagine, like, I'm trying to come to your house and I'm trying to get in my car and there's just people just everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Cameras flashing. What if I'm epileptic?
Did you see the one when she was, like, literally sat in a restaurant and they all, like, swarmed?
Yeah. Imagine, like, you're famous, and I come to have dinner with you and, like, everyone's just like, I will lose my mind.
Literally, I will assault someone.
And that's what I'm saying.
And I'm an attention whore. So imagine if you're not even that way.
Fam, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't... I was listening to this song, by this guy. Who was it? I think it's Saba. And he said that he had, like, a bar, and he basically said that, like, I want the fortune but no fame, or something like that. It was something like that. And I was like, literally, like, just give me the money. Like, I don't really need to be famous like that. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, guys, it's 2007. We all know what happened in 2007. Besides that, you know that video, leave Britney alone.
Oh yeah.
Leave Britney alone.
That person was ahead of their time. When that video came out, everybody was like, oh, you're crazy. And no, they were way ahead of their time. I'm
surprised that he was not in this documentary.
He could have been. We just didn't realise. Oh, no, they would have done the clip. They would have done the clip,
exactly. And do you know who else I was surprised wasn't in the documentary for my Drag Race fans? Derek Berry. I was so surprised. But then they were showing loads of different tweets and I saw one by Derek Berry. So I was like, all right, cool. Derek Berry's a drag queen, but he is basically a Britney impersonator.
Really?
He's literally a Britney impersonator. So even when I was looking at Britney, I was like, oh my God, I can see Derek. Like, I can see Derek.
Are you serious?
Yes, I was so surprised. I was like, oh my days, I feel like Derek Berry would be in this documentary. But he wasn't in terms of speaking, but one of his tweets definitely was. So I was like, she's made it.
Let me Google him so I can tell 60. The people.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch.
I think it's Barry. It's spelled Barry, but you know the way
Yeah,
they say it. It's like Derek Barry.
Oh, okay.
He's a Britney impersonator.
Yeah, he looks like a strong-faced Britney, but I can see that he's
a stronger faced.
Yeah, there's one particular picture where he really looks like Britney.
With the yellow thing around his neck.
No, it's white and he's looking up.
Oh, yeah. With the roots.
Yeah, guys will post it. So many things we need to share with you.
Yeah. Yes, I was just so surprised. I was like, I'm sure this guy will be in there. But yeah, that's another story. I have thoughts on Derek Barry, but we can talk about that another day. Okay, so 2007, Britney shaves her head, you know, the classic picture where she's got the clippers in and it's like, yeah. The paparazzi destroyed her. Like, honestly, I feel like the paparazzi drove her to this. And it's like, at the time, I remember thinking, oh my days, Britney Spears is just a crazy person. But it's like the older I get, the more I'm like, this woman was driven to insanity. She was treated terribly by everyone. And it's like, you're just sitting in your house thinking, oh, this bitch, she's crazy. Like, oh my gosh, it can never be me. And it's like, you do not know what this woman has gone through. Exactly. And we even know some of what she's gone through. Oh my gosh,
Britney, literally, I remember being like, Britney's crazy, because it was the picture of the baby on the lap, it was the shaving the head,
the umbrella thing that we get into.
The umbrella thing, and then the crying in the restaurant when her son was on her lap. Yeah. I don't know if you remember that picture.
It's so sad, man.
All those, like, they were the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Literally.
I remember being like, oh my gosh, Britney has lost her damn mind.
Lost her damn mind. Yeah, not knowing that she was driven to it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt so bad watching this. I was like, wow, like...
Yeah. And even I'm not in the media, but I know the reactions I had to these things.
Exactly.
Sorry, but we never even spoke about... I'm going to rewind here because this was really crazy. We never spoke about how the governor of, like, was it Maryland's wife said that if she had a gun, she would shoot Britney.
Yeah, I think it was wild. She basically was like... saying how Britney's, you know, inappropriate or whatever, and she's a bad example for the kids, and you know, if she had the chance, she would shoot her.
And Britney was like, I'm not here to raise your
kids. I'm not babysitting your child.
But you know what I even find more problematic? You are a grown-ass woman with your own children, and you are so concerned about young kids' business, because they were like, what, 19, 20 when this was happening?
Yeah, they were young.
And you're so in their business.
It's like, if you cannot stop your kid running around doing ho shit,
then it's not Britney.
It's not Britney's problem. If it wasn't Britney, it would have been Christina Aguilera. It would have been somebody else.
Bruh.
It would have been somebody else. Yeah, wild. Okay, so the paparazzi guy that we met earlier on, he is recounting the time that Britney attacked him, slashed his car with an umbrella. So this is that picture. She's wearing the grey hoodie, she's wearing white shorts, she's bold as hell, and she's holding that green golf umbrella. She is bold as hell. And she's holding that green umbrella. I feel like everyone remembers this picture because it was just such, I don't want to say legendary, but it was just one of those pictures. Anyway, it turns out that night, she's trying to see her kids who are with their dad, K-Fed. He won't let her see them. So, you know, she's frustrated, understandably, right? So you're frustrated, you're going through turmoil, you can't see your children, and you have all these niggas coming at you, asking you questions, in your face, cameras, flashing, everything. And sis literally snapped Women Who Kill. Like, she literally snapped. And I'm surprised that it even took her this long to get to this point, because I reckon I would have been done in 3.2 seconds. I would have been done like
3 pictures ago.
I would have been done 3 pictures ago, honestly. And so the director asked the paparazzi guy, do you think the paparazzi being around affected her at all? Literally eye roll. The eye roll. I didn't even see the eye roll. Literally, like, this guy's stuttering.
I don't really think, and I don't really believe, because, you know, working on her for so many years, she never gave a clue or information to us that I don't appreciate you guys. Leave me the F alone.
She never gave any clue or information to us saying, I don't appreciate you guys. Leave me the F alone. And it's like, you can tell that he doesn't even believe the words that are coming out of his mouth. Yeah. You can tell that he's just saying them. And it's like, maybe when she destroyed your car with an umbrella, maybe that was the sign that you needed for her to leave her alone. To
tell you that she wasn't interested.
And then the director, and I love that she says this, she's like,
what about when she said, leave me alone?
And do you know what this guy says?
There were times where she like, can you leave me alone for the day? But it wasn't like, leave me alone forever. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I literally was like,
Help
huh?
me, Jesus.
Help me, Jesus. Help me, Lord.
Because I feel like
literally
I
was
need a nap. Then I can
I
wake
was
up and have the energy for the
exhausted.
rest of this.
So I'm sorry, somebody says leave me alone. So that leave me alone, it only applies for 24 hours. And then after the
Literally,
24
and
hours
after the 24 hours
expires,
window, oh, it's
then
hey,
we're
it's been
back.
24 hours since you told me to leave you alone. So
literally, guess who's back in the house? Like, literally, it's just like,
I did not know I had to caveat my leave me alones with
Fam.
a time frame, but good to know.
And the fact, it's not even that he thought that, it's that he said it out loud. He thought that was an adequate answer.
Oh my God.
I'm tired. We're in October 2007. Britney loses custody of her children, so now she only has visitation rights, right? And I feel like this must be, I mean, not a mother, but I feel like this must be devastating. Especially as a mother, not having the custody rights looks even worse because usually mums get custody.
Get the custody rights. So it's like, wow, she must really be...
Exactly.
And Kevin Federline, by the way, had like
dickhead.
multiple baby mamas and kids. So again, it must have been a really wild situation for him to have gotten.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is just a bigger blow. Like,
yeah.
So our talking head, I do not remember which one, makes a good point about how her mental health was never considered. It was always what's wrong with her, you know, like people are making bare money off her suffering, but they never really thought about her mental health and how things were affecting her. And this is highlighted in a scene we see from a game show. And one of the question or the category or whatever is, name something Britney Spears has lost in the past year. And one contestant says her husband, the other one says her hair, and then another one says her sanity. And it's like, imagine you're going through this shit and you're just literally a joke just for around the world. And because you're famous, people think they can just make fun of you and that you're not ever going to come at them. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't know who they are. And I mean, this was back then. Like, if all of this stuff was happening today, imagine the memes on Twitter. Imagine. It would have been crazy. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. It would have been crazy, yeah.
Do you think it would have been crazy? I feel like it would have been crazier for, like, the everyday people, but there's no way a game show host would have asked that kind of question today.
Oh, I get what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been crazy in terms of the everyday person on Twitter making fun. But I think, and even with that though, people are trying to have a lot more conversations around mental health and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, but we've seen even with Meghan and Harry and Piers Morgan that, like, no, they don't really give a fuck about mental health. But I do think your point is correct, because now I think with social media, like, the answer is not to switch off your phone, because obviously people should be considering other people's feelings and mental health. But if you were to switch off your phone, all of a sudden, all that the noise is gone.
It's gone.
Whereas before, that okay, cool, switch off your TV, but like it's so much wider of a reach. It's so much louder of a disrespect to have a game show host invite people to come and chat shit about you. On a Saturday night where families gather to watch stuff.
It's true.
Rather than just one miserable Melanie in her room tweeting shit.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah. So it's peak. We hear that Britney's hospitalised a few times. We never actually find out why she's hospitalised.
Yeah.
Like, never. We never know what for. But when she is hospitalised these few times, she then loses the visitation rights. So she doesn't have custody. She doesn't have visitation rights. Which is wild.
She can't see her children.
She can't see her kids. And her kids are young. You know, kids, like, they proper defrost and, like, change bare, like, when they're young. So this is around the time that her dad, Jamie, files for the conservatorship. So we're back around now, right? So we started off at the beginning, we're back, we've gone through the journey, we're here. I don't know why her mum didn't file it, but maybe her mum didn't think that she needed it.
I also have a lot of questions about her mum as well. Like, where was her mum?
Yeah, I think maybe her mum didn't think that she needed it, so that's why she wouldn't have filed it. And then the dad filed it. And then no one could do anything. They say because
she had... And it was only meant to be temporary as well.
Exactly. It's only meant to be temporary, but then it's forever. Like, it seems...
We are still there.
We're still there. So we have this lawyer person who tells us that having a conservator is more than just having someone to help you balance your checkbook. Like, it's about preventing you from being duped. It's kind of like a safeguarding measure. And that goes to imply that Britney was in a state so vulnerable that she was likely to be duped, defrauded. And I just think, like, they do mention this other guy that she was with called Sam Lutby. He's her boyfriend / wannabe manager. He's basically a beg. Like, he's just a weird guy.
He's just a hangabout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's just like a hanger runner person, and her family don't really trust him, and they think, all right, cool, he could possibly be trying to use her or get money from her or whatever. So they, put her in this thing or whatever. So like Foreign said, she gets a temporary conservatorship. This was granted in 2008. So Jamie's in charge of her person, so medical treatment, stuff like that, and her estate, so her money and stuff like that. So Britney appoints this lawyer called Andrew Streisand.
Barbara.
Andrew Streisand, no Barbara. And Britney meets with him, and she says that she doesn't want her dad to be in charge of it. So not to say that she didn't think that she needed it, I guess, in that time of her life. But she was like, cool, I don't mind having it. I just want my dad to be in charge of it. And so Andrew's like, okay, well, clearly Britney has the mental capacity to make these decisions when he's speaking to her. He's like, okay, cool, she clearly has the mental capacity to make these decisions. So why does she then need to be under a conservatorship in the first place? Do you know what I mean? And then the judge is like, yeah, but we have these medical records that state that she doesn't have the capacity to make these decisions. Doesn't show Andrew the records, but basically he appoints someone else to represent Britney. And to this day, Andrew's like, I don't know what's in that report. I don't know what the medical records say. I don't know why they would change their mind like that, which is really, really weird. So according to the court, the conservatorship means that they can control who visits Britney, who can and can't visit her. She has 24-hour security. She has, they have the power to access medical records and communicate with doctors on her behalf. They can cancel her credit cards. They can take control of her house. They can make recording or touring deals for her without her consent. And they can be deeply involved in her finances. So they basically just, they run the world, girls. Like, they literally run her world.
This is scary, though, that somebody can do this to you, especially somebody who may not have your best interest at heart.
Especially when you're in a stage when you can make these decisions for yourself. Yeah. Because when you think about it, like, these things in isolation, like, for a vulnerable person, makes sense. For a vulnerable person, by someone who wants to take care of that vulnerable person, makes sense. Like, okay, cool. Yes, I'm involved in your finances. Yes, I can cancel your credit cards. Yes, I can do this and this. But I care about you, and I have your best interest at heart. For you to even include make recording and touring deals for her, if she's able to record and tour, then does she really need to be under a conservatorship?
Exactly. That's the question.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So they make the conservatorship permanent later on in 2008, right? And then we meet that lawyer lady again. She tells us that if you consent to having a conservator, as they say Britney did, you can't just wake up one day and be like, oh, LOL, just kidding, I don't want one anymore. You have to file a petition to terminate the conservatorship. So then the burden is on Britney to prove that she no longer needs a conservatorship. And then the lawyer is basically saying that she's never really seen a conservatee, which would be Britney, successfully terminate a conservatorship. Gosh, this word is so fucking weird. In the documentary, they probably say it so smooth, like it's a normal word. And I'm like,
don't forget, each of them probably only has to say it once.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yes, that's true. So basically, she's trapped in this thing forever, right? She's trapped in. Yeah, I know. I literally thought the same thing. I thought the same. I thought the same thing, and I was like,
that was a close call.
I know. Trust me, daddy. So now it's like the end of 2008, 2009. Britney's getting her life back on track. I remember this because then we started getting new music. Do you know what I mean? It was like a whole new. It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
It was that whole era. And then remember she had the what's it?
Kiss of
With the taste of your lips, I'm on the run. Dun, 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 dun. You're toxic. And what's the one where she had the snake?
I'm
a dun, 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 slave.
Oh no!
For you,
where's
you can't
when she was
deny
like,
it. I'm just trying to hide it.
I think
that's
one.
Yeah. I think it's the same song.
No, it's because I was thinking of the one where she's like, baby, don't you wanna
Justin Timberlake.
dance upon me?
That's Justin Timberlake. Yeah, you sang with me. Ain't nobody love you like I love you. See, look, the demon is back. Look at him. Look. So Britney's dropping new music. She has a Vegas residency and she's making close to $1 million a week.
Yeah.
A week. Her dad is approved by the court to receive 1.5% of all her earnings from performances in Vegas, which means that he's making close to $10,000 a week.
A week to do fuck all.
To do absolutely... Someone who was bankrupt a few years ago.
This is what Mike Scott needed when he was bankrupt.
I declare
bankruptcy.
Gosh, yeah. So we hear about this podcast. It's called Britney's Gram. I literally, I wasn't going to mention it, but they do make a good point because they say, well, they don't say, but they basically, there is the conservator, which is Britney's dad, but there's also a co-conservator who is this lawyer guy. And this lawyer guy is saying that the conservatorship should run more like a business because clearly Britney's fit to work and likely going to make more money. And the host point is saying if she's so fit and well to make more money, then why does she even need the conservatorship in the first place, right?
Literally.
Right. So this next bit I really like because Britney's basically going to announce a new residency in Vegas. It's like a new hotel or whatever. And so the plan is that, you know, Britney's supposed to come out on stage. It's like a live crowd. You know, back in the day when like MTV used to have the live crowd and then they'd have like the studio and you could see them like, yeah. So she's meant to come out on stage, perform, announce it. Sis comes out on stage. She just walks down the steps. I thought she was going to fall. I was like, why are they showing us all this? She doesn't fall.
Yeah.
She walks down the steps and she walks out of the performance place and she gets into a taxi and she leaves. Mm-hmm. And everyone is so confused. Everyone is like, huh? And then later she cancels the residency. So it's kind of like, after this, she disappears, right? So there's no post on Insta, nothing. And then the co-conservator lawyer quits. So it's kind of like, this is weird. Like, maybe she snapped. Like, maybe she literally is like, I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. I'm not on it anymore kind of thing. Right. So then the woman from the Britney's Gram podcast gets a voicemail from an anonymous source saying that Britney is actually in a mental institution and she did not go there voluntarily. So this is where the Free Britney movement started, right? Jamie Spears is basically saying it's a conspiracy, it's stupid, they don't know anything. But that's exactly what you would say if it were true and you didn't want us to know. So hashtag Free Britney. So now we're in September 2019, which was legit like the other day. And Jamie steps down as conservator of Britney's person, so in terms of her medical records and stuff like that, but he's still conservator for her finances.
The cash money. And that's where his head is at. And I feel like if you were really a loving father, then would you not maybe step down from the financial element and stick to the persons? If you feel like, oh, my daughter is really a danger to herself, she needs help maintaining like
if you're
her mental
pick
health.
one.
Yeah, like, would that not be the one you picked? But you picked the one that was going to line your pockets.
Forever. Sus. I think so. So, we're near the end of the documentary now. We hear that in November the 10th, 2020, which was actually literally the other day, there's a public hearing. So Britney's lawyers are objecting to the way that Jamie wants to run things. And we find out that Britney actually decides that she's not going to work until Jamie is no longer in control. Britney loses, right? So they don't remove Jamie like she wanted, but they do allow Britney to choose a co-conservator, which, I mean, like, small win, but is it even really a win? Do you know what I mean? Like, Jamie's still, the real win would have been if Jamie wasn't there anymore. So that main lawyer that Andrew Streisand, no Barbara, is back. And he says it's weird because he's like, the court describes Britney as a high-functioning conservatee, right? And it's like, it's so dumb because she's functioning enough to say that she doesn't want her dad to be the conservator and that she won't perform. So then does she even really need it, right? So it's like, I can understand why they would have done it initially, but it's like, does she still need it?
Yeah.
Andrew also says the problem is we don't know what we don't know. Like, I think he's kind of trying to say that maybe there's something else going on that we're not privy to.
Yeah, we're not privy to, yeah. And so I think there's a lot of that in this case, but it doesn't mean that her dad is still the best
Yeah, it doesn't mean that he's still the right person, exactly. Like, no one here is saying that she doesn't need to be... Well, we are kind of saying she doesn't need to be under it, but no one's saying that it was wrong to put her under it in the first place. It's just that the person who's in charge of it, and also, like, the fact that it still remains... Like, if it was set up as a temporary measure, it's like, okay, but it's been 12 years. It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very wild. And I feel like even back when the conservatorship started, in the first year, the dad like allowed MTV to do like a
little documentary.
Yeah, like following Britney and stuff. And there's this really sad scene where they're talking about the conservatorship, and she's basically saying like people don't understand, like how free she would be if she was able to like just make her own decisions, that right now like she can't decide anything for herself, and like it was really clear that she's deeply unhappy.
Yes.
And the stuff about performing as well, if you go on Britney's Insta, she posted performance she did, her last performance, which was like 3 years ago, and basically she's implying like she can't wait to be back on stage and stuff. Like I do feel like her Instagram is a massive cry for help. Like I honestly think when you go on it, you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And she just doesn't have good people around her. Like, I don't know if you were mentioned or if you were going to, but her brother also goes on like a podcast.
Yeah.
And then they ask him like questions, and nobody else has spoken about the conservatorship, but he brings his long throat to talk. And basically there's this bit where they're like, you know, how, like, do you think that like this is, the conservatorship is something she needs? And then he basically says that like, oh, you know, the problem with the family is like they're like 3 strong women who want to make their own, who want to make their own decisions, and that can be really tough for the guys. And I'm like, what are you even talking about?
Literally,
how tiny is your penis? Like,
I was like, literally, after what has that got to do with the price of tea in China? Like, what are we talking about here?
What are we talking about? So,
a grown woman wants to live her life, and your thing is, you know, she wants to make her own decision, and that's you know, that's why.
Your
I'm
thong
just like,
is in a twist.
Just shut up, honestly. Oh, also, did you deep the shot of the water tank, the Kentwood, Louisiana water tank? And I was like, every time there's a water tank in these documentaries, there's some fuck shit. Every time there's some fuck shit. Every single time.
That's true.
Every time.
There was one in the pharmacist. Then there was one where she cut the baby out as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm telling you, stop showing us the water tank. Stop it. We don't want to see it. We don't want to see it, man. We don't. But yeah, so the documentary ends now with on-screen text telling us that the dispute of the conservatorship is still ongoing. None of the family want to be part of the documentary. So, like, the brother wasn't part, but we saw a clip of him on a podcast where he was chatting shit, basically. And they tried to contact Britney. So the directors of this documentary tried to contact Britney. Obviously, they don't know if she received the request. She probably didn't. But, yeah, that was Framing Britney Spears.
Yeah. That was it.
Yeah, I know. I wish Britney the best, man. She really gave us, like, all the feels back in the day. Like, she really sewed into us.
She gave us some of the best tween years.
Yeah, definitely.
Were we tweens? Yeah, we were. Yeah, I wish her all the best, and I hope the right decision is made for her so she can get back to doing what she wants to do.
Yep. Same, man. Right, what are we doing next?
Something about a man that eats people.
Yeah, the man who ate his lover.
His lover.
Mr.
Lover. Don't do that. Do not have filleted
lover.
Ass cheek.
Not ass cheek.
Yeah.
If you could eat a human, but without it being a human, like, imagine it's not really like. I think the problem with eating humans, obviously, is it's wrong.
Yeah.
But then also is that you're eating a person. Like, this person had a soul. This person had a job. This person had a family.
I don't even think that's the issue. Because
what do you think the issue is?
The issue is, like, it's going to taste disgusting.
You don't know that it's going to taste good. It's meat. If I got a slab of, what's a muscle? Bicep, and a slab of filet mignon, you probably wouldn't even know the difference. It's just the fact that the problem with eating a human being is the fact that it's a human being. Like, this person was somebody. It wasn't just a random chicken in the farm.
Yeah, so if I could eat a human, what?
Without all the, it used to be a person and stuff like that, would you try human meat?
What do you mean with that? I think, oh God, they're going to crucify me. I think there's the curiosity of, like,
I'm curious as to what a human would taste like.
Tastes
like, if I could eat some of myself,
yes, like,
then maybe that would be okay.
I think if I cut off a finger by accident and they couldn't reattach it.
But I don't think a finger would be enough. It'd have to be a muscle.
No, because then you could cut off, like, so you could.
No, but I'm not talking about eating your skin.
I'm not trying to eat like a flipping steak of myself.
Okay, God forbid you had to get your leg amputated. But to be honest, if you had to get your leg amputated, the probably meat is not good to eat anyway.
Exactly, it's not fresh. You need it, like, literally just cut it off.
If you could just take, like, a little bit, maybe just have a little. Okay, so say for example you like you know the butt dimples on the side.
Yeah.
If you could just create that, just take a little flesh out the side. Yeah.
I do not have enough ass to be eating.
Yeah, you need all the ass. You know the meat you can get.
Okay, maybe for
fair.
my stomach, because I could do with slicing off like.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So would you try that?
But that's gonna be very fatty.
And then it's going right back in again, innit? So yeah, it doesn't really work out. Yeah,
I think
fair.
arse is probably the best, but isn't arse quite fatty? The
No,
best
it's quite
part-
muscular.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So either arse or like maybe like a bit of my thigh or something.
I think thigh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm gagging, but I'm curious. There's always that curiosity as to what does this taste like.
I think we solved it. I think we just have to eat it yourself. That's the only way you could do it.
Oh, I thought you meant both of us eat me, because that's what I said. No, I'm
No.
thinking me,
You eat your own person, because then it's
Yeah.
fine. Then you've eaten yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not your lover is the point that we're making. That's not what you do. You
Yeah.
don't eat other people. That's not right.
Yeah, no, keep it to yourself.
But yeah,
Keep it
I'm
in
quite
the
excited
past.
to watch that documentary and see what.
I thought you were going to say you're quite excited to eat yourself. I was like, yo, this was hypothetical.
No.
Please don't go slicing and dicing.
Ooh, Chile. No, I'm good, baby. But yeah. All right, guys, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at 2girls1doc. Also on YouTube. This episode will be out on the Friday that this comes out. On YouTube, if you want to share it that way. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at BDOnEyewear, and you are on Instagram and Twitter at 4ends with 2 underscores. See, you were looking like you weren't focusing. So I said, let me just.
No, I was. I was just scared. I was calculating in my head. It's Friday the 13th.
Is it?
But it's not.
Oh,
no,
okay,
Saturday's the 13th. I always get a bit like, ooh.
Really? Okay, well. Yeah, and also you can find her on Character Replay, which is her other podcast, which comes out on Wednesdays. Did I forget anything?
No, you said it all. So I think
Thanks,
it's only fair that I leave you guys with a song. What song should I leave?
Oh, hold on.
them with?
Before you guys skip the song, I'm going to play the trailer at the end. So if you could please just persevere throughout the singing. And, yep. All right,
Then
guys.
get to the trailer after.
Yeah, exactly. There's gold at the end of the rainbow.
What song should I sing?
My loneliness.
No, we've already
is
sang
killing. Have we? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a girl.
Not yet a woman.
What you need? What you need, baby? What you need?
All I need is time.
And a moment that is.
A moment that's all mine.
I don't know the rest of the words.
While I'm in between.
Oh, is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I should just make up words for you.
That was from Crossroads. I love that movie.
See you at the crossroads.
That reminds me of that guy Marcel from
Yeah, was it what were they called? It wasn't
Crossroads.
Blue. It wasn't Blue. Blazing Squad.
Blazing Squad, and he was whispering to everyone, "No, don't tell anyone." I was like, bro, nobody there were like 50 of you niggas. Like, no, not one person remembered that you were
the original NSG.
Listen. Okay, yeah.
All right, boys and girls.
Let's let the people go.
Honestly, we're going to play the trailer now for The Man Who Ate His Lover, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
The 9th of March, 2001. Armin Mivers, a 39-year-old computer engineer who lives in Germany, takes a butcher's knife. He cuts the penis off Bernd Brandes, a 42-year-old software designer who has arranged to be killed and eaten. Mivers slices it in half. They both try to eat a piece. He records the whole event on video. 3 hours later, Brandes is still alive. Mivers kills him by plunging a knife into his throat. Over the next year, he eats 20 kilograms of Brandes' flesh before he voluntarily confesses. For these two men, this was the ultimate erotic experience, the gruesome culmination of a twisted, whirlwind romance.